Full voice acting and heavy cutscenes are considered by many to be essential ingredients in any modern game, most of all an RPG. But what Obsidian have achieved with Pillars of Eternity is nothing short of bold and remarkable. Despite competition from Divinity and Torment, Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire stays true to its vintage roots of limiting both, and it is all the better for it. Deadfire forces you to read every word in order to truly appreciate the impact of every scene, whether it's a twitching hand or a gaze of steel, even an outward grimace. Even more so than the original, lines of dialogue can take on completely different meanings in each exchange, and your attributes and abilities influence them more than ever before. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire offers so many possibilities in each conversation. There are always your standard responses to move the narrative along, but depending on whether you have maxed out your strength, or you're a little bit of a historian, or you're very self-assured and streetwise, you can change the course of the conversation to make some bold decisions. Like bully a guard into giving you a key, or kill them where they stand if they disobey you. Carefully manipulate the conversation to convince them into giving it to you, or improve your agility to tap into your stealthy attributes. In most cases, there is more than one way to complete a quest. Your character's talents mean so much more now than just how your fighter is built. They influence every dialogue choice, every decision you make, and even how your party respond to you. As Obsidian like to put it, there are no bad builds. You just can't go wrong. But on the subject of combat, Pillars 2 has also had some upgrades. The big one is that party sizes have been reduced from 6 to 5 to make it easier to keep track of the action, and that you can now retarget spells even after they've been recast. The party AI system is also improved, allowing you to customize preset behavior to the most minute detail, even defining specific behavior in one-off scenarios. The possibilities are genuinely scary and endless. Deadfire uses RTWP, or real time with pause, which means you can pause the action at any point to change up your attacks or move with an enemy. You can even set it so that if a character is near death, the game will pause automatically for you to rethink your strategy. As before, characters can be ordered to fight individually or as part of a team, but with so many fighter choices available to you, it's important to recognise the strengths and weaknesses of everyone in your team. And don't have them charge headfirst at once, even on the easiest difficulty settings. This is an RPG that will punish you for mindlessly stabbing the mouse button and directing your priests to the front lines to face down a barbarian. By hovering your mouse over an enemy, you can see what their strengths and weaknesses are, with the game keeping an account of everyone and everything you faced. Permadeath can happen, of course, but you can also hire adventurers to join your party, even building them from the ground up yourself so they do exactly what you want them to and the build is tailored to your choices. Even old habits in an RPG like grinding have been rethought, with Obsidian rewarding players for the way they play rather than encouraging them to fight the same mobs and travel to the same places again and again. Use your attributes wisely and you'll earn just as much experience in your conversations as you will killing Scarface Goblin in the old abandoned mine 17 times in a row. And that brings us to the graphics. The gorgeous, sometimes jaw-dropping, regularly stunning graphics. This isn't just an upgrade from Pillars of Eternity, it's an evolution. And if it's not the gentle sweeping motion of the water or the tide coming in that gets you, it's the look, feel and modelling of the character you're putting together. The detail in the face is startling, and the customization options like hair, eyes and nose are at least double the amount from PoE, possibly treble. For instance, on my Gigabyte 17W, I had PoE 2 Deadfire completely maxed out. And even at this early stage, bearing in mind the game's not due out until April the 3rd, I was blown away. Everything just looks sharper, crisper, more fluid, less stunted and static. This isn't a normal top-down RPG. Pillars 2 is one of the most aesthetically pleasing I've ever seen in the genre. And of course, the big story in Pillars 2 is that you captain your own ship and crew. Now, to be honest, this is the aspect of the game that is still a bit work in progress, and it seems there'll be a lot of tweaks between now and launch as Obsidian try to get it right. Put it this way, in the current preview build that I was playing, it's by no means finalised. And honestly, it's the only part I'm on the fence about. On the one hand, naturally navigating the map by clicking around, venturing to different islands, picking up treasure, discovering landmarks, that's light years better than the existing system in Pillars of Eternity 1. It's more natural, free roam, it encourages exploration, and it places a lot of added responsibility on your shoulders because now you have to think about crew wages, morale, starvation, even the possibility of mutiny while you sail around if you ignore their requests. Do you head back to land to pick up supplies, or do you just pursue greater glory? On the ship, you can assign your crew to different roles depending on your skill set. For instance, if you've got a journeyman navigator, it's probably best you don't waste them on manning the cannons. The interface is similar to FTL in that you drag and drop crewmates into open slots and do your bidding. That part works wonderfully, and during combat they can even level up and improve in certain areas. It's going to be deep and fulfilling and enriching. You can also jump out on deck to walk around to customise the look of your ship and buy new sails and cannons, even find new equipment as you journey through the game. The combat, however, does leave a little bit to be desired. Unlike hand-to-hand combat, ship battles are text-focused. They're turn-based affairs where you have 3 turns to perform different manoeuvres as you try to outsmart the enemy ship. At least it's 3 turns to begin with, you actually upgrade that the deeper you go into the game. Like a dialogue tree, you have several commands you can use like turn port or starboard, fire cannons for either direction, even do a complete 180. I guess I'd hope for real-time turn-based ship-to-ship battles adapted from the Pillars combat, even something reminiscent of Sid Meier's Pirates battles. When you consider the RTWP throughout the rest of the game, to be honest, it does affect the pacing just slightly. I mean, you can grapple on board an enemy ship if you've leveled up enough and have hand-to-hand combat as normal. With that, you can then choose to fight from the deck of your own ship or leap across to get right in a pirate's face. And once you win a battle, you can plunder the wreck and be on your way. Again, I do have to stress that at this point in time of the recording of this video, that part is still a work in progress and will probably be significantly changed before launch. If any of this does sound negative, it's just not what I was expecting. Not terrible in the slightest, but certainly a surprising design choice. But to summarise, that is still the only main concern I have coming away from Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, and it is still being worked on extensively. Based on this preview, it is shaping up to be absolutely incredible and big. Very big. Like, I spent around 8 hours wandering around all the available areas, trialing out different things, and according to Obsidian, that barely covers 5% of the game's content. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire is an evolution of the original in almost every conceivable way, and we've only just been able to scratch the surface. Obsidian have me completely hooked already, and I cannot wait to see what comes next. So these impressions were based on a preview build that was supplied by Obsidian and is not representative of the final game. We will have a full review to follow. But for now, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you've got any questions about Pillars of Eternity 2, drop them in the comment section below, or let us know what you think about the game, or if you've been playing in the backer build. And if you think anything has been covered unfairly, please just do let us know, because I'd love to hear your feedback, and perhaps it's just the way I was playing, who knows. I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts. But thanks very much for listening and watching. See you next time.